Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Short one for you today. I'm going to show you the loadout that I use for Darwin Project. So we'll pop in here to equipment, and here it is. So the key part for me for this loadout, for this build, is the hunter arrow. The reason that I use the hunter arrow is because when you hit an opponent with an arrow, it'll give you 5 seconds where you can track them. So no matter where they're running or trying to hide, you're going to keep an eye on them for 5 seconds, which will, in many situations, it'll allow you to follow up and get extra hits, or follow up and get that kill. Every time you hit them with an arrow, you get an additional 5 seconds of tracking. So it doesn't matter what they're hiding behind, as long as you're getting an arrow hit every 5 seconds, you always know where they are. I find it makes it much easier to finish up. So you're not just hitting people once or twice and they're gone, you're hitting them and tracking them and getting the kill. The fire arrow is a good option, I suppose. It will give you extra damage, which is great. The berserk arrow is probably, in my opinion, in between the hunter arrow and the fire arrow, because it'll give you a stamina boost. Just whatever you do, if this is your first time or if you're relatively new to playing Darwin Project, don't leave the regular arrow equipped. I see a lot of people who are just playing the game, just starting out playing the game, they leave the regular arrow equipped because it gives you 5 extra arrows to start the game with. In the mid to late game, even a couple of minutes into the game, having those extra 5 arrows that you get in the beginning, it becomes pretty worthless. So do yourself a favor and choose one of the upgraded arrows. For me, it's hunter arrow every time though. In terms of traps, then I use bear trap. I might change this out sometimes with tripwire. I prefer bear trap, I think, because it's cheaper on the resources. And late game, I like to just drop these all over the place if I have time. The glider I use for my second one because it just makes it easier to get around the map. And snowball, you have to have snowball. A snowball I have on a hotkey on one of the mouse buttons, because snowball is very handy for clutch kills if you're out of arrows, and it's also very handy for getting hits on deer, so you can get the loot drop without having to waste any of your arrows. So moving on to powers then. First power that I'll use is either this one's either the teleport. If I'm not using teleport, sometimes I might use power leap instead, but teleport I'll use more often, and it's always one of these two. It's always a teleport or power leap, because it makes it so much easier to get around the map, whether that's just to traverse the map to get to different places, or whether that's to get the drop on an enemy. After that, then I'll go for one of these next, but I always have these two equipped. The turret is, I think it's a little bit controversial. I know a lot of people don't rate the turret at all. I find the turret really handy for getting some damage. You can get kills with the turret. Usually if you're playing against people who are in any way experienced, you're not going to get a kill from the turret. But that turret is a fantastic distraction, and you might get some damage out of it as well. So it really does come in handy in a fight. And in late game as well, when we're down to the last zone, if I'm there first, I generally like to find a nice spot for the turret, so it'll really give me a heads up when it comes down to 1v1 or 1v2. Then the third one that I use my electronic for is the energy shield. The reason I use the energy shield is because it blocks all damage for 10 seconds, which is obviously great, particularly if somebody gets a jump on you. It makes things a lot more balanced. So they are definitely the 3 electronics that I use, although I said sometimes I'll swap out the power jump for this. In terms of the other electronics, radar can be quite handy. Detector, no, I wouldn't use that whatsoever. Camo, I tend to fight quite a few people who have camo, and they'll activate it in a fight. And to be honest, it doesn't make you 100% invisible. It doesn't make it impossible to fight you. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but typically speaking, if you're keeping an eye on what's going on, you can still track somebody who's got the camo on. You can still fight them. You can still kill them. So for that reason, I don't really rate it myself. Arena, I haven't used. I like the idea of it, but I haven't used it, and I don't think it's applicable enough to swap out for one of the ones that I use. So definitely turret, definitely energy shield, and either or power leap or teleport. So sorry, just put back on the teleport. Right, so the gear then. The axe sharpener is another controversial one. A lot of people maintain that it's too expensive on resources. It takes 2 wood and 3 leather, whereas the other ones, I know they take less. Let's have a look. You go 2 wood and 1 leather, or 1 wood and 1 leather. The axe sharpener is definitely the winner in my opinion, because even 1 level on the axe sharpener, the plus 25 damage, that's enough to get you some kills that you otherwise might miss, and you will otherwise might die. I have had quite a number of fights, particularly in the beginning before I used the axe sharpener, where I would get my opponent down to 25 or 50 or 100 HP, where if I had have had the axe sharpener equipped and upgraded even one level, then I would have got the kill instead of dying. So I'll always use that now. And particularly when it comes to late game, if you can max that out, it gives you a huge advantage over your opponents. If you're not going to use the axe sharpener, if you do think that it's too expensive on the resources, then go for the scavenger axe, so you will get extra HP when you kill an opponent or when you knock down a deer. And for the cloak, then I just use the runner cloak because I like to have the stamina boost. Particularly if you get a few levels on this, the extra stamina is great for both getting around the map and also for fighting as well. The boots, I use ninja boots. I might swap this out for speed boost just for the additional movement speed. But the movement speed upgrade that you do get per level with this is pretty nice, and I like the reduction in the footstep duration. I like to know that it's highly unlikely that somebody's tracking me unless I know about it. Because if somebody's tracking me through my footsteps, I'm not going to know about it. But if they're tracking me through detectiving or whatever you call it on equipment that I've made or on resources that I have gathered, then I'll know about it. So it's nice to know that you're the one hunting and not being hunted. So that's my build, and I've explained why I use what I use. And the two most important things, I did tell you that the hunter arrow is definitely the most important part of this kit, and also the axe sharpener as well. Those two are the ones that will give me what I feel is my advantage in fights. So that's what I like to use. So if you have your own build, or if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said in this video, then please let me know. I'd love to hear your opinion. Drop me a comment in the comment section below. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.